ball handling. They have to expect pressure. Western Kentucky, Joe, is not a big team, so one of the ways to hide that deficiency is with full court pressure, and that's exactly the way they play. I'm not going to say it's 40 minutes of University of Arkansas type basketball, but it's pretty close. They will press you. They'll show different lineups on the zone. They'll show different looks on the zone. Little 2-2-1 man. They'll jump and play run and jump.
In our conversation with Darren Horn, he said, you know, we're going to do the things that we do well. One of those is extend the defense with pressure. Lee on the drive, and that was blocked by Clark. He's in the top 6 all-time at UVA in block shots. He adds another. Singletary on the pull-up. Clark with the offensive rebound and a new shot clock. 3-2 in the early going for the locals.
T.J. Bannister in the lineup playing in the backcourt with Sean Singletary. It's a very quick backcourt defensively.
Joseph fires and comes up short. Adrian Joseph, who was brilliant in his first start against Wake Forest. Running the floor, there's Wilborn with a lay-in.
You know, a lot of times size is somewhat overrated, Joe, because what the Hilltoppers like to do is they'll send all 5 guys down the court running the floor. So if you're a big guy, you better put your track shoes on. You know, the guards are used to getting back. The big guys aren't.
Singletary came up short after Joseph helped relieve the press. And we hear the foul call by official Larry Rose against Sean Singletary, his first. Virginia in its 100th anniversary season. Cavaliers just getting their AC season underway against Wake Forest. They lose an ACC opener, Glenn, for the 10th straight time. That's hard to fathom.
Well, it certainly is, but not surprising when you have so many great teams in the ACC. Now, this is what the Hilltoppers like to do. You see all 5 guys running the floor nicely. And L. Grace Wilborn, who was their big guy, 6'8", 245. What a great name. I love his name, L. Grace. He's terrific running the floor and finishing on the break. Shoots 72% from the floor.
Nothing special in terms of shooting percentages so far, although we are very early on, just in the 3rd minute of the first half. Along with Glenn Consor and the rest of our Comcast Sportsnet crew, I'm Joe Beninati, inside University Hall in Charlottesville. Winchester off the pump fake. Tries to dish in traffic, then scrambles for that loose ball, and he was wrapped up in the lane.
What you could see early on in this game, Joe, is the Hilltoppers like to spread the floor. They're not a big team, but they all stand 15 to 16 feet away from each other, which creates great spacing. And then they all like to penetrate. They could all put the ball on the floor, and they could all shoot threes.
Winchester, the 21-year-old junior from Indiana, is firing there, but the Hilltoppers will hustle it down. Antonio Haynes, who hails from Georgia. Now Danny Rump, Philadelphia born and bred. An MVP-type player, most valuable type player for Darren Horn's group. Transition game. Bannister on the fly. Nice skip. Joseph with the open look, and it won't fall. 4-3 for Western Kentucky. Joseph with the quick hands. It'll stay Hilltopper basketball.
You know, the complexion of Virginia's team completely changes. That's good defense by Joseph. Just couldn't wrestle it in. When Devin Smith is out of the game and Reynolds is out of the game, those are 2 guys that can make 3-point shots, Joe. And if you're making those shots, that opens up the inside for guys like Elton Brown. And with those guys on the bench, they play a little different type of game.
Turnover here against Western Kentucky. Devin Smith, the 2nd-year tri-captain for Pete Gillen, has an injured ankle. On the follow-through of a jump shot, he landed on an enemy player, rolled that ankle, and he has been receiving, as you see him on the bench, some 4 hours of treatment a day. He's spending an awful lot of time with a trainer.
Well, you know, he hurt that ankle 13 games ago, and usually you recover a lot faster from an ankle injury than 13 games. And you see the great explosiveness of Western Kentucky, where they waste no time. Very quick team going from defense to offense.
Courtney Lee's first basket. He had 18 points and 9 rebounds in the win against Fordham New Year's Day. The Hilltoppers on a 6-0 run. Virginia not shooting it well from the floor. And we hear a foul on the way to the basket.
Again, with Devin Smith on the bench, Reynolds feeling ill. They're going to have to look to get possessions off of steals. And the Hilltoppers are a type of team that likes to press, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Virginia press as well, because teams that press don't like to be pressed. And you want to try to get the ball back. You need possessions. Virginia's the type of team that really excels in the transition game.
Singletary shoots it inside. And two-handed jam. It's Adrian Joseph. 6-5 for Western Kentucky. Danny Rumpf will haul it ahead. Rumpf, second on the team in assists last year. And you pointed out a brilliant assist-to-turnover ratio for him in the early going this year. Winchester off the screen. 10 to shoot. And the three is knocked down by Rumpf.
Rumpf and Haynes are like bookend guards that could handle the ball and shoot threes. It's good penetration that time by Bannister. You got to make that shot.
The one thing, too, that Darren Horn, the head coach of the Hilltoppers, is pointing out, they needed to stop the dribble penetration. Danny Rumpf and these Western Kentucky Hilltoppers can shoot it well. Adrian Joseph is so acrobatic and explosive to the rim.
Starting off strong there, Coach. Yes, sir. Our defense looks good, and their shooting is hard.
Sunbelt, and Danny Rumpf is finding his range from three.
Well, you got to get out on the shooters. No hand in his face, nobody running at the shooter end. That's an area that Virginia really has struggled this year. Right now, they are last in the ACC in three-point field goal percentage defense. And let me just give you a sample of what that means. They're holding teams to 37% from three. The first-place team in the ACC is holding them to 25%. That's a big gap. You got to get out on the shooters. You got to get outside that three-point line, get a hand up, and bother shooters.
First-place team, I would imagine, would be Georgia Tech.
Correct.
They have been terrific defensively under Paul Hewitt. Just about 5 minutes into live ACC basketball action on Comcast Sportsnet. Non-conference game for Virginia in white against the Western Kentucky University Hilltoppers in red. Joseph to Clark, looking for the entry. Then he gets his signals crossed with Bannister, who hustles it down to the midcourt line. Turnover and a breakaway for Winchester. Anthony Winchester with 4. Back come the Cavaliers, and Brown is all alone. Elton Brown, couple games back, 25 points in an overtime win against Loyola Marymount. Substandard game against Wake. Grabs another board, does Elton. Singletary on the fly. Joseph is chopped in the lane.
Talking to Coach Horn before the game, he said it's so important. Transition defense is going to be so important. He pointed out two huge areas. This is Gary Forbes coming off the bench. Had a nice game against Wake Forest. Bannister takes a seat, but he told me before the game, if we're going to have any shot at winning this game, it's got to be on the boards and transition defense, getting back to Virginia so quick.
J.R. Reynolds has also entered for the Cavaliers. Forbes' pass, beautiful touch. Clark. Mason Clark with a team-high 5 to this point in the early going. Western Kentucky on the road with a 2-point advantage. Nice crossover dribble there by the youngster Lee. Haynes will show his patience. Antonio Haynes finds the corner man, that long jumper. No good for Lee.
Good defensive segment that time by Virginia. Started the game out man-to-man, then switched to the 3-2 zone.
John Singletary with the basketball, already 3 times an ACC Rookie of the Week. Inside for Clark, distributes for Reynolds. Lee climbs the ladder for the board, and there's an offensive foul. Loose ball foul. Substitutions coming in for Western Kentucky. We see Ty Rogers, a dead-eye shooter, get off the bench. well as one of the big fellas on this team, 7-foot sophomore Josh Higgins. Jason Clark has picked up 2 personals for Virginia. Rumph in charge now. Winchester with a quick trigger. Singletary will run. Numbers for the Cavaliers. Reynolds, great body control. And he'll finish.
Virginia wants to get it up the court, get some easy baskets. And Pete Gillen, after that timeout, said, guys, let's not just rely on three-point shooting. Let's just go to the basket.
J.R. Reynolds had 17 points in that 19-point loss to the Demon Deacons Sunday. Haynes whirling into the lane, lost the handle. He thought he was fouled. It's still Hilltopper ball. Well, you like the handle of Antonio Haynes. You see Joseph get back in for Virginia. Haynes, a couple seasons ago in junior college, averaged nearly 15 assists a game. Yikes. Virginia, 6 unanswered in just over 2 minutes. Clawing its way back into a tie at 11. Rumph for 3. Off the hands of Higgins. Deflected out of bounds, and it'll be Western Kentucky ball.
Coach Horn was an excellent three-point shooter, one of the top three-point shooters in the history of Western Kentucky. Speaking of threes, Virginia not getting up enough right now.
And Western Kentucky can't be pleased with 1 for 6. Haynes operating on the outside. Rogers finding room. Haynes again, and he was bumped. Break time for us here in Charlottesville. We'll continue on Comcast Sportsnet in just a few moments. Adrian Joseph looking to duplicate his weekend performance against the Hilltoppers.
Hilltopper and Lady Topper basketball on WKY.
Hurricanes have been playing extremely well. Nearing the midway mark of this first half on Comcast Sportsnet. Western Kentucky giving Virginia a tough time.
Little 3-2 zone by Western Kentucky where the guards are outside that three-point line.
Reynolds on the hop and a bit too much. He traveled. It's turnover number 3 against the Cavaliers. You turn the page and you talk to Darren Horn, and he said we need less than 16 is the ideal number. Less than 16 turnovers against all that Virginia pressure. Right now it is Virginia who's coughed it up a tad more.
The nice thing is when you have a guy like Rumph on the floor who's got a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, he's got that nice calming effect on the team and just get him the ball. Look at the big fella shooting that ball.
From the outside, the 7-footer cashes in with his first basket. He was 4 or 5 from the floor. 9 points in the win over the Fordham Rams recently.
Now they list him at 7', 275. I think he's more in the threes to me.
You know, they were saying he's lost about 25 pounds over the last couple of years. Number 34 in the red, Josh Higgins, of whom we speak. A knee injury slowed him down at the beginning of the year.
He's got a nice touch from the outside for a big guy like that. He kind of looks like he belongs in a Bonanza, in the Bonanza show.
Well, there, outside and then inside.
Big Hoss doing it.
Nice work by Reynolds, finding the open shooter. Joseph doesn't cash in. Forbes, though, on the putback. Missed the easy one in the lane. Western Kentucky was wondering how it was they were going to cover a guy like Gary Forbes with that size, strength, and talent.
You know, talking to Darren Horn, he said, you know, we're not a big team, but, you know, you put Higgins in a game, they become a big team. He did a nice job there, good balance, and good hands inside. Nice looking player.
Singletary gets a breather. Higgins got a couple of baskets in just over a half a minute. Right off the bench, right onto the score sheet. 15-11 for the Hilltoppers. Elton Brown looking over the defense, and he airmails Joseph with a pass. Western Kentucky fired up on that sideline. Pete Gillen will gather his gang around for a word or two.
Pete Gillen takes a full timeout on this timeout, and one of the things he's talking to his team about is not to get confused. Western Kentucky doing a nice job of playing a matchup 3-2 3-2 zone, and you know this team is playing sloppy, executing. The passes have not been efficient. He's getting no dribble penetration against the zone, and that's what you want to do. See, when you play against a 3-2 zone, first of all, the corners are open. They haven't gotten the ball into the corners. They're not swinging the ball around. We saw a couple of high lows, but you got to get that dribble penetration from the top of the key to bring the guards in, and that usually opens up the wings.
And normally this is a Virginia team that relies on its seniors, but they are getting big contributions from freshmen this year. Have a look at the honors already achieved by Singletary, Green, and Joseph.
Well, this is a very young Virginia team. If you look at it, you know, even though Elton Brown's a senior and Devin Smith's a senior, but he's not playing. Jason Clark is. You know, Forbes is a sophomore, and Reynolds is a sophomore. Singletary. They've had 3 weeks of Rookie of the Week in the ACC. Very young team, very promising team in the future.
Not been playing all that much in and around the holiday break. Perhaps some of the rust showing. 5 of 14 from the floor. Sloppy ball handling and passing. Western Kentucky in the visiting red. Danny Rumpf in charge. Lots of motion in this Hilltopper offense.
They do a nice job of moving out the ball. They have 6 assists in the team so far. Look at the spacing. They spread you out.
Rogers led the state of Kentucky in terms of high school scoring last year. That's saying something. Number 5, and it's Rumpf, though, who drills the 3. Now the made basket, the Hilltoppers are stretching.
Well, they've got a lot of different looks at you on the defensive end.
Forbes open for 3.
It's good patience that time by Virginia. Western Kentucky changing their looks as soon as you step over half court. What they want you to do is rush your shot that time. Showed some good patience. Forbes are wide open in the corner.
Puts an end to Western Kentucky's 7-0 run. Rogers with Reynolds drawing a bead on him. Rumpf all alone. Back-to-back threes for the 21-year-old junior from Philadelphia.
Boy, I like this Western Kentucky team. They are taking care of the basketball. They are playing with no fear. There is no deer in the headlights look in their eyes right now. They're coming into this game 10-1, and it's a great opportunity for them to try to snag an upset here against Virginia at Virginia. Not going to be so easy, though.
A rebound for Winchester, who at 6'4" often battles guys in that 4 spot on the floor who are much bigger and stronger, but he battles terrifically. Rogers off balance as he was hit. 21-14 for the Hilltoppers. Foul, that's going to hurt. Floor burn for J.R. Reynolds. Subs getting back in for both sides. We'll look at Boris Siakam, a freshman from Cameroon for the Hilltoppers. Sean Singletary re-enters for the Wahoos.
You know, you think about how important, Joe, this game is for Western Kentucky. They come into this game 10-1. And hypothetically, if they could knock off Virginia here in Charlottesville, then they start their Sun Belt Conference games sky high. A lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. You know, they will be the team to watch in the Sun Belt Conference. They come out of a victory here today.
It's the first of 3 in a row on the road for Darren Horn and the Hilltoppers. Next up for them at Arkansas Little Rock next week. And Arkansas Little Rock is one of the preseason favorites in the Sun Belt East.
Well, they already knocked off Murray State. They beat Georgia at Georgia. Now, Georgia's not one of the top SEC schools this year, but still, it's an SEC win. Fine start for a basketball season at Western Kentucky.
Substitutes continue to trickle in. John Singletary stationed at the free throw line, a 67% shooter there. I mentioned that win at Murray State, the first time they had won at Murray State since 1989. A handful of tries sprinkled in between. 12 minutes deep in this one, and Western Kentucky has the lead by 5. Rogers on the hop, rejected by Forbes, and twice! Back-to-back swats. That'll get the fans out of their seats with a little encouragement from the head coach. Virginia on its own floor, trailing by 5. We'll have you back in Charlottesville after these words on Comcast Sportsnet.
21-16, Coach. Top still looking good. Need to rebound a little more, maybe.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt, but I tell you, our defense looks real good. We went into bottleneck zone, and then they started trapping off of that. And then our motion offense is just handling the ball beautifully. They're making a lot of mistakes, and we just need to capitalize on them.
Some big three-pointers there as well. Hey, we're live here at Diddle Arena watching the game along with you. The difference is we're already members. Maybe you're not. Maybe you need to call right now and help make this game possible. Report from the station, they tell me that we've made some progress, but still well over $3,000 before we pay for just this one game. Over a dozen folks are working here in Bowling Green to make it possible. All the people back there in Virginia and all the folks that have given so far are making it possible.
On the defensive end.
Well, if Virginia has an advantage this game, it's their front line quickness. And when you play a team like Western Kentucky that spreads you out, you have to rotate. You have to play weak side defense. Give Gary Forbes a lot of credit by playing that help defense. You always need those guys helping you out when you get burned.
He had 2 blocks coming in 10 games, and he gets 2 in about 3 seconds. What a difference a year makes for Western Kentucky. They started the year 0-5 last year. They come to Charlottesville tonight 10-1 and leading. And a travel in the backcourt against El Grace Wilborn.
El Grace Wilborn is one of the most athletic players in the Sun Belt Conference. Very bouncy 6'8" player who leaps and got that strong body. Rebound and scores inside.
This one deflects back out of bounds. Elton Brown scolding himself there.
See, Elton Brown they really need to try to get the ball into Elton's hands more, and he's got to let the game come to him. He can't force shots because that's an area that he's improved on coming into a senior year, but he's got to be more active in calling for the ball and establishing himself in the paint.
Had a peek there at a graphic of just how effective the offense has been for Western Kentucky. That was a dribble drive by Haynes that was not fruitful. Back comes Singletary, and it's a charge.
Antonio Haynes did a phenomenal job getting back. Coach Horn has stressed transition defense, and tough call to make right there, but he got back. He certainly was back with Singletary, who's a jet. Not an easy thing to do, take a charge when a guy's pushing the ball up the floor and you're that close to him.
Singletary's second personal. Ty Rogers will bring it ahead for the Hilltoppers in red, leading by 5, a little less than 7 minutes to go in the opening half. Live ACC basketball on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe Beninati, Glenn Consor with you courtside. Courtney Lee on the kickout. Working against this Virginia
Very nice
zone.
defense.
Good offensive rebound. Just the same by Wilborn. Lee slashing and dishing. Winchester didn't finish the first time, but makes no mistake on the second.
Gotta love the moxie of Winchester. He just plays hard. A little undersized in there, but he makes up for it with hustle.
There is Rogers coming over to help defensively. The Cavaliers have just 1 field goal in a little less than 7 minutes. It has been a dry spell for them.
Hustle by Western Kentucky. Now you gotta get your hands ready. Your hands have to be ready. And that time Western Kentucky was with your hands everywhere. You're ready to catch basketballs. Your knees, ankles, chest.
Singletary crossing over, and he was held. Foul on Antonio Haynes. It's his second.
Singletary trying to be proactive, and now he takes a seat. Madison comes in. Pete Gillen wants a timeout. Does not like the way his team is attacking the basket. The defense has been very disruptive to the offensive flow of Virginia, and you got to give a lot of credit to Western. They're showing different looks defensively. They're showing 3-2 zone, and And I think Virginia's not getting enough dribble penetration. They're not passing the ball quickly. Typically, good ball movement will create openings against that type of zone, and we're not seeing it from Virginia.
One thing that Pete Gillen knows, Darren Horn's squad comes to town with a lot of championship tradition in its own right. When you have a peek at schools that have won the most conference championships, look where Western Kentucky finds itself.
Well, they've had some great players in the past. And a couple of years ago with Chris Marcus, one of the top big guys in the nation. Nigel Dixon last year had a great year.
Coach is quick to point out Kentucky, the basketball capital of the U.S. People really care about hoops in that state. Reynolds misses everything from 3. And the ricochet belongs to Virginia, so say it the officials. Larry Rose, Dwayne Gladden, and Brian Dorsey tonight.
Boy, Reynolds does not look like himself, especially on that jump shot. He's an excellent shooter, and coming into the game, they said he wasn't feeling well. That shot certainly didn't look like it was healthy.
During Reynolds' freshman year a season ago, Glenn shot nearly 40% from 3. Coaching staff wants him to feel like he's a go-to guy offensively. He got ripped off there by Courtney Lee. Lee with a solid defensive play, the 6'5" freshman from Indianapolis. Annie Rumpf has 3 3-pointers in this first half. Winchester has 6 points. Rumpf looking to get up and go against Bannister. Winchester again, shaded by Clark. Lee fires. Good rebounding position by Elton Brown. That's his 4th board on the night. Virginia trying to shave into a 7-point deficit. Wilborn out there hedging against Reynolds. Brown looking to show off some post moves. That was partially deflected.
That was a great block by Wilborn. What a quick jumper he was on that shot. Pete Gillen on the sideline saying he thought it was goaltending.
Wilborn, the
good
former transfer from the University of Tennessee, as we hear the whistle and the foul against Elton Brown. Why don't we go back to the defensive end? Elton Brown is one of the best post scorers in the nation. Denied here.
Did a nice job of going up. Ooh, that was close.
You know, I saw Elton look over, cut his eyes at the official and say, goaltending?
That was close.
No.
That was close.
23-16 if you're just tuning in. Western Kentucky in Charlottesville has the lead over the Cavaliers.
You know, sometimes, Joe, I'm glad we're sitting back here and we don't have those stripes on because there's so many close calls.
Tough job. Not all that rewarding either.
No.
Rogers stepping in. Rumpf loads the gun again. Winchester. Oh, high in the air. It was Joseph with the rebound. Singletary accelerates in transition. No running room. An open Bannister. Rumpf fighting for it on the end line. Virginia ice cold from the floor. Courtney Lee. Winchester inside, using the glass again. Winchester has 8, Rumpf has 9, and Western Kentucky has a lot of hope here in Charlottesville. Up in arms on the bench as the Cavaliers move quickly to draw another foul. Darren Horn's squad a season ago, 15-13. Enjoying its largest lead on the night right now.
Western Kentucky is not a big team, but they certainly are quick to the offensive boards. And you've got guys like Winchester and Rumpf and Rogers. They are sending everybody to the glass. That might, you would believe it might lead to some offensive fast breaks, maybe some leaks from Virginia, but we just haven't seen it.
Unusual to see T.J. Bannister miss at the free throw line. He's 4th in the ACC, 87%. 1 of 2 there. 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes separating us from our Force 3 halftime report. Winchester knocking down his defender Singletary and then cashing in. Winchester the first to double digits. He's got 10. During that Force 3 halftime report, Glenn, checking the out-of-town college scoreboard, I am sure. Some very interesting games in action tonight. A baseline move for Bannister. Scoring in the foul.
A terrific move by Bannister. That's what they're going to need. They're going to need the penetration, not just from Singletary, but also from Bannister.
Western Kentucky on the lead by 8. Glenn. Winchester has been very active underneath.
The action of Hilltopper and Lady Topper basketball is made possible in part by Coldwell Banker Legacy Real Estate Group, with offices in Bowling Green, Glasgow, and Scottsville. Additional information on the web at kymoves.com.
About this time each year, we announce a new This Old House project. But this year, we have another big announcement. Meet Kevin O'Connor, the new host of This Old
Spacing. Look at the spacing between the players. That's terrific spacing. What that does is it brings away weak side defense. The charge wasn't there, wide open. They do a good job of spreading the floor and forcing you to come out. And they got some terrific shooters. Winchester already has 10 points.
Leads the team with 10 points, leads the team with 5 rebounds. Virginia has a slim rebounding margin to this point in the basketball game, yet they trail by 8. Western Kentucky's not gone to the line. Bannister completing his three-point play. And now drawing a bead on Antonio Haynes. Winchester elevates and hits for 3. He's beating up.
Boy, he just plays so hard, moves so well without the basketball, and he's got great balance, and he's feeling it right now. That young man plays hard.
His season high 29 at Austin Peay. He had 40 against Louisiana Lafayette last year. He's got the Hilltoppers' last 9 points. Dante Minter came up short, the sophomore from North Carolina, off of Pete Gillen's bench. Long lead, great hustle there by Singletary. Joseph will run the half-court set. Singletary feeds Minter, then dives on the deck with that off-injured left shoulder. Pete Gillen tells us he's got a slight rotator cuff tear from an old high school football injury. That's why he wears that brace.
I asked him before the game if the brace bothers him. He said it does, but not to the point where it's safe to take off. And he actually had it injured the other shoulder as well, and he's having some shoulder problems right now.
Virginia in white, down 10 on its own floor in a non-conference game. That's almost unheard of. Forbes skipping into the lane. Gary Forbes, an anticipated matchup problem for Darren Horn and the Hilltoppers. He's got 5. Holds him into a team-high lead with Jason Clark. Rump slings it inside. Winchester kept it alive. It was Wilborn who prevented the backboard violation. There, beautiful alley-oop. High in the air, Adrian Joseph from Sean Singletary. And they love it in Whoville. And Darren Horn doesn't want him to scream too much. The Hilltopper head coach asks for the timeout.
That's a good timeout by Coach Horn. A good timeout. One of the few inefficient offensive sets by Western led to a nice little alley, and there's the use by Joseph. Pretty difficult to throw a one-handed alley-oop pass, which is what Singletary did to Joseph. Before the crowd got into this game, Darren Horn, Coach Horn, called a well-informed timeout.
And a reminder again for Virginia, playing without its tri-captain, its lead scorer, Devin Smith, for the second consecutive ball game. He's in street clothes on the bench, bothered by an ankle injury.
Just how important is Devin Smith to his team? Well, not only from a statistical standpoint, he leads the team in scoring, 4th in the ACC, had 40 points against Iowa State, but he's really the team leader on the court. He brings toughness and swagger. With him on the bench, Virginia just doesn't play with that, that swagger, that little bit of a nasty that you need.
Trailing by 6 to the red jersey Hilltoppers. Rump motions for the offensive set. It'll be Haynes to coordinate. Minter on the switch. Good look inside. Excellent pass to Winchester, and he knows what to do with it. 15 in the first half for Anthony.
Boy, I love the guards of Western Kentucky. Haynes and Rump do a great job of finding people. The reason they're such good passes, Joe, is because both of those guys can score, so they're dangerous with the ball. You have to get up on them, and they can go by you, and that was a terrific pass by Haynes. That was his 5th assist. You got those combo guards that can do everything, kind of like the Joe Dumars type.
Back in Ty Rogers. He made more three-point baskets in high school than anyone ever in the state of Kentucky. The 6'3" freshman. Joseph on the kick. Singletary, speaking of 3. Another board for Wilborn. L. Grace Wilborn, the native of Queens, New York. Under a minute to go in the half. Offensive foul against Winchester. Ryan Dorsey says so. Anthony Winchester gives him a little earful. A run for him. 11 straight points consecutively. Siakam back in off the bench for Western Kentucky. He's only been playing basketball organized in the United States for a couple of years. This native of Cameroon, 21 in the red. Singletary, Bannister, quick relay inside. No conversion for Brown. It has been another tough first half for Elton Brown. Just 2 points. 1 of 3 from the floor.
I'll tell you what, L. Grace Wilborn is a terrific defensive player. He goes out and hedges out on the guards. Then he slides down and helps the big guys out. He's all over the place.
Had 6 blocks for Darren Horn in the game in the NIT against Georgetown in seasons past. 5 blocks against Austin Peay this year. Antonio Haynes gets back into active duty for Western Kentucky. The same for Anthony Winchester. Just 16.2 seconds to go in the first half, and Western Kentucky surprising Virginia. Last shot time for the Hilltoppers. Rump doing the honors. That was a tough shot. Now it's going to be Courtney Lee over the back.
Looks like an over the top foul. They're over the limit there. And J.R. Reynolds will go to the line. I believe it's J.R. Reynolds, who had a nice little box out there. Had Lee on his back.
J.R. had the game-winning layup in that overtime win over Loyola Marymount right here. A thriller, 79-77. 20-year-old sophomore from Roanoke. Usually hovers around 75% at the stripe.
He's really been playing well. He's been their most consistent player. Coming into this game, he has hit 8 of his last 16 threes, so he's been playing some good basketball, not just from the outside, Joe. It's his overall game. He's more than just a shooter. He goes to the basket, and you talked about that game winner against Loyola Marymount. Well, that wasn't a three-point shot. He took it to the basket. This has added a different dimension to his game, taking guys off the bounce.
Averages close to 11 Glenn per game. Has only 3 so far in this first half. That is prior to this free throw. Gets them both. The lead is 6. Antonio Haynes in the dying seconds. The long double clutch 3 won't fall. At the half in Charlottesville, Pete Gillen and friends trailing the Hilltoppers from Western Kentucky, 32-26. More ACC basketball action continuing on Comcast Sportsnet in just a few moments. It's been a very, very nice showing for Darren Horn and the Hilltoppers. Off we go to Bethesda. Maury S. Payton in charge of our 4th stream.
The action of Hilltopper and Lady Topper basketball is made possible in part by Coldwell Banker Legacy Real Estate Group, with offices in
48-44 with the fewest points that Virginia had allowed under Pete Gillen here in Charlottesville.
Well, let me tell you this, Joe. This is a very important half of basketball for Virginia because they took it on the chin by Wake Forest. And the last thing they want right now is to come into the ACC play, especially going up against Georgia Tech, coming in with another loss here to a non-conference team like Western Kentucky. Now, let me tell you something. Western Kentucky looks like a very good basketball team. They got some votes in the top 25, by the way, this week. Actually, 3 votes. So they are a terrific basketball team. So this is not a slouch team by no means. But just from a momentum standpoint, you don't want to come in losing before you play Georgia Tech.
An early turnover against the Hilltoppers. The guys in white will be at Georgia Tech in Atlanta on Saturday. Western Kentucky did not play a team in the top 25 last year, and Virginia just fell out of the top 25 as Brown missed inside to Clark for not. Clark has 7, and the team leads.
Joe, watching Elton Brown, he's just not moving to the basketball like he wants the ball, and he's not being proactive. When you're a big guy, you want to call for the ball and be verbal inside. He just doesn't seem like he wants it enough.
We both spoke with Darren Horn, the Hilltoppers coach, and he said Elton Brown is a load, a handful inside. So tough to defend. He's kept himself quiet so far tonight. Now Elton running but does not convert on that fast break. He got in there too tight. Our Geico Direct ACC moment, focusing in on how the conference has fared against non-conference rivals, and telling you about Miami making its first ever appearance in an ACC game, and welcome, they'll go against Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets, 28 wins. They tied a school record a season ago, along the way to being the NCAA runner-up.
Miami's a team that could knock you off. They got some good players in Height and King.
Anthony King,
who had 13 blocks against Florida Atlantic. So, you got guys that can shoot it and play defense.
After they reset the shot clock, Glenn, it is a runner for Adrian Joseph that stays put. 32-30 now. Western Kentucky's lead, which at one point was 10, is now 2.
Looks like Virginia's playing at a different energy level. Little shot of vitamin B at halftime.
And they needed it. Antonio Haynes in the driver's seat now for the Hilltoppers. Matched up with Clark, shoots over him. Haynes has hit to more than 2 3-pointers in 7 straight games. He missed there, but the conversion was put back, and the Hilltoppers lead is 4. Bannister for Brown. Rejected. It's Wilborn doing the trick again.
Boy, I love the guards in Western Kentucky. They all could score. They go in and rebound, and it's really like a full-guard offense. Courtney Lee with the ball right now can put it on the floor. You got Winchester. They can shoot the basketball, and they're so versatile.
That was the thing. Alexis Sherrard, the assistant for Virginia, said it's pretty much a 4-guard look. They remind them a lot of Auburn, and we know that Auburn gave Virginia all it could handle earlier in the year.
What a great game. Elgrace Wilborn is playing inside. He didn't go for the pump fake. He stayed on his feet. He's a quick jumper, Joe. That's what I like about him. He's not only strong, but he not only gets up, but he's quick.
Trying to wheel on Elton Brown, and he hooked him there. It's going to be an offensive foul. Officials tonight, Larry Rose, Dwayne Gladden, and Brian Dorsey.
Pressure by Western Kentucky. And against that kind of pressure, Joe, you want to make sure you don't throw beach ball passes. You got to throw ropes and attack the basket with dribble penetration. That's a nice pass.
Swatted again by Wilborn. He's taking over at that end. Courtney Lee spots up. It rattles out. Winchester claims the offensive board. Nearly pickpocketed by Singletary. Rump for 3. He missed everything there. He had 3 triples in the first half. Back they come. Little lob. Joseph didn't stash that one away. Rump through the traffic. Here's another lob for Wilborn. Goodness, he was upstairs.
An overused pass, Joe.
I know you're beginning to not like it as much. Steal, takeaway, Haynes, blocked.
An overused pass, Joe. I keep telling you.
Bannister 2-on-2, and it's a charge.
Wow.
A wonderful sequence of events.
You know, I thought I was having like a video game flashback watching that. You know, when I talked about it, it's an overused pass, and good defense that time by Winchester. Got there right on time. So often you see 2-on-1s and 3-on-1s where they want to get the crowd in the game and they want to make it entertaining, and I think you got to take a step back as a player, Joe, and you got to throw the fundamental pass. Throw a bounce pass that would get you a basket. Forget the alley-oops.
Couple of personals on Jason Clark, including that offensive foul. 3 turnovers against Virginia, the last 3 trips up the floor. 34-30 for Western Kentucky, the visiting Hilltoppers in the red. Wilborn's pass was kicked. They'll reset the shot clock to 35. Western Kentucky on the year, when they outshoot its opposition, they are 6-0. And right now they are badly outshooting Virginia.
And Joe, for Virginia to get back in this game and take control, they're going to have to establish Elton Brown inside. He's going to have to go to the ball. What a shot by Winchester.
A runner for his 17th point. Bannister back. Brown. Yes. And it counts. A trip to the free throw line.
Elton Brown doing everything to get himself fired up, smacking himself in the head. He knows it. He feels he's playing a little bit complacent this game. Does a nice job stepping to the ball. You see how he stepped to the ball and made himself a target? He's got to get involved in the offense, and you know what? His teammates aren't going to get him involved. He's got to burden that responsibility, step to the ball, and start moving without the basketball.
Elton's a guy who takes so much responsibility, usually comes back with a vengeance when he has a poor game. You saw his numbers against Wake Forest. Not Elton Brown-like, and ditto so far tonight. That was just a second basket. Give him 5 on the evening and bring the Cavaliers within 3.
Good defense by Bannister. So you can't let those guards look. Rump does a nice job of just protecting the ball. He doesn't try to make any fancy moves. He plays within himself.
Oh! Elton Brown getting acquainted with Anthony Winchester.
So he's fired up now. This is a little different look to Elton Brown's intensity that we saw in the first half. This is what we talked about in help defense. A little pump fake. Winchester does a nice job, and that's the 5th block by Virginia.
Haynes for 3. Bullseye.
Wow.
Antonio Haynes with a deep 3. He had 32 in the season opener against Tennessee State in a victory. Evansville is the only team to beat Western Kentucky this year. They're 10-1. And in terms of 3-point tries, they are loading up against Virginia. Not shooting a great percentage, though. Forbes pounds it on the deck to score. Gary Forbes continues to be a good option offensively for the Cavaliers in this one.
That's his game. He's got some quickness. When he goes one-on-one against Winchester, they got to spread the floor and let Gary go.
Off the curl, Haynes again. Short for 3. Winchester will keep it alive. Almost 5 minutes into the second half. 39-35 Western Kentucky in red. Joe Beninati, Glenn Consor, all the men and women in our Comcast Sportsnet crew welcoming you to Charlottesville. Winchester had that taken away by Forbes off the end line. It'll be Western Kentucky ball when we get you back to U-Hall. 39-35, Coach Horn and the Hilltoppers.
Back here live at EA Diddle Arena, Terry Reagan and Coach John Odom. And Coach, I don't know what was happening there for a while. I called it street ball. You said sandlot.
It was sandlot there for a few minutes, but I tell you what, they're hand-checking us.
Sean's second basket. You and I both had a chance to catch up with him, and I did not know that he had a brother who is fighting over in Iraq in the armed forces. Says he gets to speak with him very infrequently, but that he is in harm's way.
Those guys are real heroes.
For sure. Singletary now cheating out on Haynes. Shot clock at 10. Rumpf with 5. Little backdoor look and a great pass for Higgins. Executing on all cylinders.
Well, just when you think Western Kentucky is stuck. Winchester just kind of makes the play. He finds it. Either he scores himself or he gets himself open to make the pass that leads to a basket.
Singletary finding an open Clark. Virginia has not faced a member of the Sun Belt Conference in 13 years since they saw New Orleans in 91, 92.
Yes.
They're not liking what they see so far from Western Kentucky. And this is going to be a charge against the Hilltoppers.
They get trying to establish position inside. He's just so big, it takes up so much space. Stuck his arm out. You know, he's really been productive off the bench for Western Kentucky, giving Grace Wilborn a little bit of a breather here and there. He comes in, he's productive.
I love this. He played golf in high school. He's got 3 holes in 1. Josh Higgins, got to be custom fit clubs. He's almost 7 foot tall. I could not use those clubs.
No.
He's got 3 aces, Glenn. Are you kidding me?
You couldn't pole vault with those clubs.
Brown on the spin. Off the glass, no. Clark, ferocious inside. Clark with a team high 11, trying to fire up the fans. Western Kentucky's lead is now 2, and it could be erased this trip. Good, look away. For Clark. Courtesy of Bannister.
And that's nice. You see, Joe, no alley-oop, nothing fancy, just basic basketball. Smart pass, efficient pass by Mr. Bannister.
6 points unanswered has them roaring in Charlottesville. On Comcast Sportsnet, live ACC action rolling right along with the Cavaliers with some get up and go. TJ Bannister leading the break, and Jason Clark puts her home.
6 unanswered points, and that's not the way we want to see the game turn. And let me say, too, some of you may be getting unanswered.
Virginia getting back into this game by getting back to the basics of basketball. And we talked about the errant passes and the alley-oop passes. You see Bannister coming down, frees it right here. Now, in the first half, that's an alley-oop here, an alley-oop here, which was ineffective. Bannister does a better job of making the simple, efficient pass, forget the alley-oops that led to a basket.
Jason Clark with a team high 13. Virginia looking for its first lead since very, very early on. As the Hilltoppers hear the whistle, a foul on the outside. There's a lot to like with Grace Wilborn. You pointed out his defense and his leaping ability. He continues to show that off as Courtney Lee checks in at the free throw line. Lee on the season, 64% there.
Well, he's a quick jumper. He's not only athletic and strong, but he gets up quick, and I like his ability to score around the basket, too. He's shooting 72% from the floor for Darren Horn. Western Kentucky, and you got a guy like that that is that athletic. 6'8", 245, only a junior.
These are just the first free throws on the night for Western Kentucky. We've nearly played 28 minutes of basketball.
Wilborn also leads the Sun Belt in block shots. You can see why.
4 straight games in double figures. They're going to have to get up and go in that department. He's got just 2 points unofficially tonight. Western Kentucky leads by 2. They are in red. Sitting back in that zone defense. Foul spotted by Dwayne Gladden.
Western Kentucky showing a 3-2 zone. Singletary went right to the corner. They tried to get the ball inside to Brown.
Foul there was on Wilborn. It's his 3rd. Helping to rebound the point guard Haynes.
See, Elton Brown had his hands on the ball. You just couldn't wrestle it in, Joe. Get your hands on the ball like that on those offensive rebounds. You got to pull it down. Don't try to tip it.
He's normally so dependable. Rump for Wilborn. Bodying up with Brown. Good takeaway inside. Cavaliers looking for the tie. Forbes wheeling. He was ripped off by Courtney Lee. 2-on-2 in transition. Great up and under.
Nice job by Lee. Under control. Good little jump stop. And jump stop led to his balance. Look at Wilborn.
Another rejection. Forbes gets a face full. Haynes spots up. Missed the three there. Elton Brown cleans the glass. End to end we go. Bannister hesitating. That floater won't sit. But he'll get another crack. Singletary from deep. Off of Wilborn, out of bounds. A little miscommunication there. 9 minutes and 1 second into the second half, and it is still Western Kentucky on the lead in Charlottesville.
The action of Hilltopper and Lady Topper basketball is made possible in part by Coldwell Banker Legacy Real Estate Group, with offices in Bowling Green, Glasgow, and Scottsville. Additional information on the web at kymoves.com. Follow the action of the Hilltoppers and Lady Toppers on WKYU PBS. Brought to you in part through a grant from Wendy's Old-Fashioned Hamburgers, with a location near you. Wendy's. Taste the difference fresh makes.
Our holidays have been celebrated in traditional ways for thousands of years. When they came to the United States, they got their first taste of freedom. Christmas got a Santa at the North Pole. St. Valentine got chocolate. Hanukkah got presents. And Kwanzaa got invented. This series looks at our holidays, what they were before they arrived in America, and what they became. Please join me, Bert Wolf, for a Taste of Freedom.
Every Monday night, follow Dave Eckert on a culinary journey.
The scenery is beautiful, the people are friendly, history is everywhere. And oh yeah, the food is terrific too.
Culinary Travels with Dave Eckert explores the world through local cuisine.
Don't let the looks deceive you, for when it comes to the cuisine, it's definitely fine dining.
Culinary Travels with Dave Eckert, Monday night at 9 on WKYU PBS Travels.
Support for Hilltopper and Lady Topper basketball comes from Houchins Industries and its corporate family members, including Stewart and Ritchie Construction, Junior Food Stores, Southern Recycling, Save-A-Lot Food Stores, and Houchins Market. Houchins Industries, an ESOP company.
Hilltopper and Lady Topper basketball on WKYU PBS is made possible in part by the Kentucky Lottery's Powerball. It's America's game with winners in Kentucky every week. The Kentucky Lottery. Somebody's got to win. Might as well be you.
For that matter. You get involved with that? Fool around with that? You do.
Right.
Tell me about Wilborn defensively.
I love him defensively. He's always helping out. Plays great weak side defense. And, you know, when you're a guard, you got a guy like that that could help you out in block shots. You can cheat a little bit, gamble a little bit. You know he's going to be there, and that's the luxury you have playing with a El Grace Wilborn. Great name.
Not a lot of points tonight for El Grace. The blocks and the boards have helped.
Well, you know, stats are deceiving because his presence on the floor, looks like he puts up a lot more points and rebounds than that. I don't know.
Bannister on the outlet for Virginia here at home in white. They'll force feed Elton Brown now. As they battle for it on the end line. It'll stay Virginia ball. Good night for the Washington area college basketball teams. Georgetown a win in Pitt, where it's also difficult to win. The Panthers were recently upset by Bucknell of all teams. And GW prevails over LaSalle on this night. Here in Charlottesville, 47-43 for Western Kentucky of the Sun Belt Eastern Division. They are 10-1. Reynolds for three. He's just been a hair off throughout the night. Has he? Way off?
Way off.
Way off.
He a couple of air balls. That shot really wasn't on target. Again, he didn't get the start because he wasn't feeling well. Well, his shot looks like it's not feeling well.
Nice line by you. A mullet off. Rogers misses for three.
It's more than a hair.
I understand it. Bannister on the bounce. Oh! Acrobatic try there for Sean Singletary. He'll go to the free throw line. fourth.
That's huge. Nice job by Singletary. He jumped in a little bit to draw the foul. And that is a huge foul right there. And now with 10-17 left in the game, Wilborn has to sit. They become a different team. They take it to the game. Now, I like the big fella. He has a big presence. He's fundamentally sound. He's got a nice touch offensively. He is just not the defensive presence that Wilborn is, and they play a little differently with Josh in the game.
Just raw athleticism for El Grace Wilborn, that 21-year-old junior from Queens. He grabs some pine. Singletary at the free throw line, bringing the Cavaliers within 2.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can get on the golf course with Josh.
Take some pointers, I guess. He missed it. He's got 3 holes in 1. He's 7 feet tall. I need validation on it. Winchester, who has been the hot shooter. Oh, he rains another one in for 3.
That was right in his Reynolds. He was right on him. Had his hand in his face and right in his chest.
22 now for Winchester. Reynolds working the baseline, flashing inside to score. Reynolds has a half dozen, more than halfway through the second half. Western Kentucky in red with the basketball and a 3-point lead. Rump off the motion in the corner.
Virginia showing a little 3-2 zone.
Shot clock at 10.
They were very effective in the preseason with this zone.
It'll be Rogers. Rebound belongs to Forbes. A 3-pointer would tie it for Virginia, although the Cavaliers have been dreadful from 3 tonight. Bannister finding Reynolds. Little skip pass to an open Singletary. The trouble from behind the arc continues. On the end line is Forbes. It goes back over to the Hilltop.
Just begging for some open shots. You know, they're getting looks, Joe. 1 for 10 from the 3-point line. And again, you live and die with that 3. I know it's cliche, but I think when you got players inside like Elton Brown and Clark, you got to go inside to get the 3. Pass it up. Look to go inside. Let him get fouled.
Rump, who is hot from 3 in the first half, spins in, finds an open Courtney Lee. Bang! Lee for 3. He's got 9. 53-47. Singletary looking to answer. They volleyball it around, and it winds up in the hands of Antonio Haynes.
Now Western Kentucky is playing a soft zone. And they're just making the statement to Virginia, hey, you know what, guys? Beat me from the outside. Go ahead, take the shot. By the way, Singletary, Joe, was floating on that shot. You can't float when you shoot 3-point shots. Because if you do, it's like shooting at a moving target. You want to be stationary. You want to go up. You want to come down at the same spot. Singletary is 0 for 4 from 3.
That was at Higgins' feet. Back comes Bannister. Haynes with a hustle. It'll still be Virginia basketball. 7 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the second half. Head coach Pete Gillen and the Cavaliers know that they are in for a fight. Down the stretch we go with them against Western Kentucky in a moment.
Great that we can watch this game at home, isn't it, Coach?
Oh, super. It really is. This Virginia's gone into zone defense, but we've settled down now. We're back to playing some good basketball.
I hope that you're right, and I hope that you've called and pledged your support. It's great to be able to watch the game. Coach Odom and myself, Terry Reagan, here at Diddle Arena watching along with you. And if you've called and pledged your support to make it possible, thank you. If you haven't, this is the moment we need to be hearing from you as we wind down in the second half here. Also winding down your opportunity to call and pledge your support to make this game possible. A bonus game in our schedule, a game we didn't plan on bringing to you, but a game that came to us if we had $4,000 to pay for it. And that's why Coach and I are here during this evening, during this game, here in the arena asking you to pledge your support to make it possible. Nobody else, ticket sales, HAF scholarship money, you know, none of that pays for this. You do, your pledge of support to WKYU PBS. That's how we make this game possible. the final minutes of the second half here need to just settle down and get about it.
I believe we are, and I think that things are beginning to look a whole lot better right now.
I'm glad you feel good about it. I'm nervous I'm just nervous about it. And I'm nervous about it. We're going to pay for this ball game, or we're going to make it happen. Don't forget you can pledge on our website, hssn.org, and make that pledge of support. Our T-shirt special, $50 or more on a credit card. All kinds of ways, all kinds of thank yous, but most of all, more basketball action brought to you by you when you pledge your support. 800-599-2424. Let's pull it out, Top, and let's count on your call.
Let's showcase the Alltel long distance shot. It's a pair for the Hilltoppers. First, it's Anthony Winchester.
He shoots that shot with Reynolds right in his face coming off that screen.
Courtney Lee, though, was uncontested.
Yeah, this is a team that has so many weapons from three. Nice little penetrate and dish, and that's one of the things that Western Kentucky has done so well tonight. Draw and dish, get in the paint, kick it out to a three-point shooter.
On the Virginia side, with the Cavaliers trailing by 6, earlier you made the point that Virginia's relying perhaps too much on the three. What are their other best options now in the last 7 minutes and change?
Well, you know, you got to go inside. I mean, I still think you have to shoot three-point shots. Don't get me wrong, but, you know, when you're missing a guy like Devin Smith, who's not playing, who's a great outside shooter, and Bannister's not having a typical JR-type night, you can't just rely on three-point shots. You got to take them, Joe, when they're open. But Jason Clark is 6 for 7 from the floor. Elton Brown is tough inside. Go inside. That should be option A.
Forbes will swing it. Joseph fires for 3. They chose option B. And then Elton Brown, such a horse inside, was fouled there. The foul will be against Danny Rump. Cavaliers, in the midst of a dry spell, just one field goal in the last 5 minutes. Elton Brown reports to the free throw line, 61% on the season.
See, Joe, with Virginia not shooting well from the outside, the guards could sag a little bit, and that makes it harder to get the ball inside for Clark and Brown.
Elton did not shoot free throws well in that loss to Wake Forest when it was Deeks coach Skip Prosser, who is a longtime assistant to Pete Gillen and Xavier, getting the better of his old friend 89-70. Clark will go to the line there as there was a foul off of the miss. Just 3 free throw attempts for the Hilltoppers.
That's amazing.
Jason Clark, a team-high 14. This is a guy who's been bothered a little bit by an Achilles tendon that flared up. He didn't play against Loyola Marymount. Missed the second one there. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, a lead of 5. Glenn, I know you were wondering about the derivation of that nickname as Higgins works inside. Nice little give and go. Higgins finishes. He's got 8.
Well, I like the big fella. He is fundamentally sound. He's working hard.
And then Virginia coughs it up, and Pete Gillen wants time.
He's made it very difficult, Higgins has, for Elton Brown to get the ball inside. You watch his defense on that last play. He did a great job of moving his feet, taking short, choppy steps. Watch this little pass inside. Higgins gets the ball and then gets it back. His hands are ready. Great hands. Shot ready. Good pass again by Winchester. Little give and go. He goes to the basket, right back. Weak side defense is not there. They are just playing very good basketball. Basic basketball.
Talking about that nickname for Hilltopper, for the Western Kentucky squad.
How did they get that name, Joe?
You know, the statistician extraordinaire Marty Aronoff has pointed it out. I guess when Western Kentucky was being developed, the first building on campus was set on top of a hill. All the other buildings followed, and they went with, yeah, well, look at that. It's the building on the hill, Hilltoppers, so Marty says. Send all comments to the Aronoff residence if that's untrue.
It's a great nickname. We were the Terriers.
Boston U, of course. Welcome to viewers in the Bowling Green, Kentucky area who are viewing this one tonight. Live Comcast Sportsnet ACC basketball. Turnover. Clark playing the passing lane. Reynolds.
No basket
Not
before the
count.
shot.
It was a block on Rump.
Rump tries to draw the offensive foul. That's a good foul. That's a good play by Rump. Not a good pass by Rump, but watch how he gets back.
19 fouls on the Hilltoppers, who lead by 7 if you're just tuning in. Possible upset in the making. Plenty of time, though. Just a shade less than 7 minutes in the second half. Clark missed that free throw badly.
That was a plump.
Double-double for Anthony Winchester, who's got better than 20 points and now 10 boards. Higgins pops out. Winchester around the screen. And over Clark.
Boy,
he's hitting everything.
You know, they run great stuff. A lot of patience. Winchester is such a good scorer because he shows great patience coming off screens.
Reynolds shooting into the lane. Reynolds has 8. Anthony Winchester, now a junior, the former Sun Belt Conference Rookie of the Year. Easy to see why. He was held to a season low in the win over Fordham. Last time out, he's making up for it against the ACC Cavaliers. Rump was bothered on his way to the basket. Fouls against J.R. Reynolds.
You know, the style of play of Western Kentucky, they've done a great job. They really have done a great job in dictating the tempo of this game. They ran when they want to ran. They slow it down when they want to slow it down. And what it's done is it's forced Virginia to kind of slow themselves down a little bit. 5 seconds. Good defensive play that time. But what it does is it zaps the energy out of you defensively.
Coach Horn relaying the defensive setting for his Hilltoppers. In control of this game by 7. The turnover story is close. Singletary slides off a Brown's hip. That was an awkward shot. Western Kentucky, 5 minutes and 20 seconds away. Leading by 7. They have won 4 straight. 10-second violation against the Hilltoppers. Back over to Virginia.
It's a rare error that time by Western Kentucky. They play very smart basketball, and it happens.
Singletary, Forbes, Clark, Reynolds, and Brown. 5 on the floor and white for the Cavaliers. Working against the Hilltoppers zone. Reynolds fires and switches the 3.
That shot has been the missing link.
Just the second made 3 on the night for Virginia in 13 tries. Timeout asked for. Timeout granted. They get a little louder in Charlottesville. We are at University Hall. The Cavaliers know that in the not-too-distant future, Glenn, they have a wonderful new arena in the plans.
Certainly new John Paul Jones Arena. We see it as you pull in to Virginia. They're building it on the sidelines. It's a beautiful arena. And
expect to have 15,000 seats for basketball. Construction costs of almost $130 million.
wow.
The anticipated date of completion for the project, May of 2006. 20 luxury suites. It'll be quite the facility. Virginia entertaining Western Kentucky tonight in Charlottesville. In terms of their upcoming schedule, they go to Georgia Tech on Saturday. Miami and Duke to follow. Duke without Javlik Randolph, who's troubled with mononucleosis. Virginia and Maryland is always a nice battle.
Keep your eyes set on January the 15th, Joe. UNC plays against Wake Forest in Winston-Salem with no return match. That's going to be a goodie.
Well, Coach towels off and gets ready for the final 5 minutes. Darren Horn will get L. Grace Wilborn back in there. The Hilltoppers have made some hay behind the arc. Virginia, not so. Wilborn is back in. He's got 4 personal fouls. He missed the last 5 minutes. Haynes skipping by Singletary. Reynolds has the rebound. Singletary piloting his way back. Forbes on the finish. Harry Forbes with 9. Winchester and Forbes jawing at one another. Separated by official Larry Rose. Danny Rumpf will take his sweet time bringing it up. The lead is 2 for the Hilltoppers in red. They find Lee, and he hits it for 3.
That's a big, big shot. Every time you think Virginia's going to get some momentum, Western Kentucky comes back and executes nicely and efficiently.
They love Lee's versatility. Elton Brown found some space finally. Brown just 7 unofficially for the Cavalier tri-captain. 60-57 for Western Kentucky. Live ACC basketball on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe Beninati, Glenn Consor with you tonight. Sean Singletary has 7 assists, trying to hand out and help Virginia back into a tie game and then some. And hearing it from the head coach.
Here we are back live at EA Diddle Arena. Terry Reagan along with Coach John Odom. And Coach, it's serious time now, isn't it?
It's serious time, and I'll tell you, this Winchester has had a Super Bowl game tonight.
It is key for very many players. They're stepping in there. Lee, good to see him stepping up there and hitting a big three-pointer.
That was a key bucket. We needed that one badly.
Speaking of serious time, we're serious too about paying the bill for tonight's game. If you're just joining us, we started the evening with a $4,000 commitment to bring you this game. That commitment coming from public television here at the university, WKYU PBS, putting up the cash to bring this game to the folks here in South Central Kentucky. Now we're asking you to help pay the way. We're asking you to add to your gift if you've already made one this season, and perhaps make that gift for the very first time, because that's how we pay the bills. And the bill this time, $4,000 to make this game possible. 1-800-599-2424. Final 4 minutes, Coach.
Yeah, this is going to be some great coaching going on in these next few minutes.
A lot of strategy.
A lot of strategy, absolutely.
It's really up to how the ball falls sometimes off that rim, and that's what we're looking at right now, how this game will fall. Will we raise the support necessary where we're going to consider doing this the next time we have an opportunity? Write down the number, call us later, 800-599-2424. Back to the game. We'll talk to you after the game. Let's watch.
Comcast Sportsnet ACC basketball coverage has been brought to you by Food Lion, saving you time and money. By Alltel, you got that right. And by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. You know, we had an inkling that this might be a real good game, and it hasn't disappointed. If you're catching us a little late, here's the Jeep game summary. Western Kentucky has now made a three-point basket in 518 games in a row, and it's helped their offense tonight. Winchester's been dynamite. The Cavaliers continue to play without one of their top guns.
Devin Smith is really the team leader on the floor, and terrific three-point shooter, and with him out of the game, they just lose so much of their moxie and nastiness. But I think the storyline for this game, Joe, has been Western Kentucky's defense. It's been their ability to disrupt the offensive flow of Virginia.
At the other end of the floor, Glenn, I think they have run very precise offensive patterns. They've gotten themselves the looks they need. As a result, they lead by 3 against an ACC rival. This is Western Kentucky of the Sun Belt Conference. A turnover. Back comes Singletary. Elton Brown looking over the top. Singletary, not bashful. Brown with a rebound. Blocked away. It was Wilborn with 4 fouls who picks up another rejection. His 5th. Haynes will be deliberate now for the Hilltoppers, who are 10-1. Rump into gear. Tough shot.
Well, they tried to overload a side, and that left a one-on-one opportunity for Rump that just didn't have anything.
Singletary being encouraged to back out of there by head coach Pete Gillen in his 20th anniversary season as a head coach. 7 of them here in Charlottesville. The long throw goes down. J.R. Reynolds awakening late in this game. He's got 14. We are dead even at 60. Virginia has not led since the first 2 minutes of the game. Winchester. Great rebound and a one-touch play by Lee.
Well, we have a terrific game here. You know, some interesting things going on here. Lee, who's matched up with Forbes most of the night, now he's defending Reynolds, who didn't start the game because he wasn't feeling well. And all of a sudden, Virginia's starting to wake up from the three-point line. You got Reynolds and Singletary, 2 very good three-point shooters. They've been asleep for, about 39 and a half minutes.
Timeout, Western Kentucky. Singletary was in much need of a boost of confidence from long range. He finally cashes in. He missed his first 5 threes on the night. So Virginia, ice cold from behind the arc, and then all of a sudden, Glenn, as you were saying,
big shot, and that's with Rump right in his face. And penetration that time by Singletary. He was very smart. He was very close to that three-point line and stepped behind it and launched it. And that's what we were talking about, Joe. You don't just stop shooting. You still want to look inside, but if you have open threes, you got to continue to take them.
Coaching staff always reminds us that Sean Singletary is an outstanding competitor. He did not have his best game against Chris Paul and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons over the weekend. There are no egos on this Virginia team. They love their chemistry. Well, they're in a real good basketball game with Western Kentucky right now. Virginia on the lead by 1. 80 seconds in regulation. It's Winchester, double clutching. Getting it out of trouble. Lee. Bang!
Oh, shot.
The runner-up for Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana last year. Courtney Lee hits again.
Great patience that time by Western. They didn't rush it. They swung the ball around. They didn't take the first shot.
Under a minute now. Forbes skipping. An awkward try there, and Wilborn with a clutch rebound. 48 seconds in regulation. The Hilltoppers, for a first ever meeting against ACC Virginia, trying to pull the upset.
They got to stop the clock, sure.
With a shot clock at 18, Clark commits the foul.
Pete Gillen on the sidelines, yelling at his guys to jump up and get a quick foul just to stop it.
Just a 16 foul against Virginia. Not yet in the 1-and-1. 64-63 for Western Kentucky. Folks, you're reminded Comcast Sportsnet, your place for the best up-close coverage of your favorite team. Every angle of the story, every view of the action. It's Sports Night, presented by PricewaterhouseCoopers, every night at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., only on Comcast Sportsnet. A couple of juicy topics for our gang in Bethesda to talk about following this one. Darren Horn had a lot of faith in his team. Knew that they were hitting stride, very well prepared, 4-game win streak, and they were not going to come into this gym and be intimidated, and they haven't been one iota.
Not at all. They played a great basketball game. They really have. Coach Horn really has had this team prepared coming into this game. What I like about Western Kentucky is that they're a disciplined basketball team. They run efficient plays on offense. They have great spacing. Patient players. They don't force up shots.
See the timeout story. Western Kentucky still with 1:30-second timeout. The Hilltoppers will be in the bonus on the next Virginia foul. 36 seconds to go here at University Hall.
You don't want time to click off the clock, and a couple of seconds went by there, Joe.
Singletary trying for the takeaway, commits the foul, and it's 1-and-1 time for Antonio Haynes. 82% free throw shooter on the season, now 11 games old for Western Kentucky.
That's the thing, the two leading scorers on this team, Haynes and Winchester, both shoot over 80%.
See the free throw story. Western Kentucky hasn't had a lot of opportunity. Antonio Haynes once shot 94% in junior college. Yikes. Smooth right there. 93.5, and that was only number 3 in the nation in junior college a couple seasons back. This 22-year-old senior from Georgia. Arm in arm on the bench. A little willpower trying to create the upset. Haynes gets just 1 of 2.
That's a big miss right there.
The lead is 2.
Big one.
Singletary scans the defense.
Got a mismatch down low. With Rump on Elton Brown, they got to get him the ball.
15 seconds to go. Singletary will take it. A great hustle inside. It was Forbes who was cleaning it up there. Sean Singletary has never shied away from taking the big shot, whether it's in high school or in his young college career.
That shot was blocked that time by Haynes. Forbes in the right place at the right time. This is where you're really going to see just how big that free throw missed by Western Kentucky.
Forbes
just as big as that one.
67% free throw shooter. And the Cavaliers along the bench can hardly keep their eyes open to watch. The other side of the story, they're close, real close to an upset. Forbes misses both. Out of bounds, it belongs to Virginia. Rump was desperately trying to call a timeout. The officials don't give it to him. 9.5 to go in Charlottesville. Wilborn, that defensive presence, gets back in off the bench. Singletary will put it in. Reynolds pumps for 3. Good look. It flames out. Singletary looking for the pass inside. Clark at the buzzer. That could be goaltending.
And it is.
It is, and we are tied at the buzzer. Goaltending at the buzzer. In a state of euphoria for the Cavalier fans who thought they were out of it.
I don't think I have ever seen that at the end of a game like that, Joe. Watch this. Right at the buzzer. And it's a good call because that ball hits the backboard, and after it hits the backboard, it's going down.
Elgrace Wilborn has been so aggressive in the shot blocking department, and here this time he thought he had to do it.
That's a good call. That is a good call.
Goaltending it is. Overtime. They'll need in Charlottesville. Virginia has won its last 4 overtime games. They edged Loyola Marymount very recently, 79-77.
You know, Joe, so many times we have seen games come down to the nitty-gritty on the free throw line, and when we saw it there, Hilltoppers make that shot, game's over. Virginia makes their shots inside.
That's right. Works both ways.
Game's over.
An excellent basketball game in Charlottesville. Live ACC action on Comcast Sportsnet. Let's go back to the free throw line.
The intentional miss that time, and Rump, as he's fallen out of bounds, it was too late. By the time he called timeout, he was already out of bounds.
Jason Clark then getting the credit for these 2 points on the Wilborn goaltending.
Look how in and out that shot was. Singletary got tied up. Brown was wide open, and that shot hits the glass first on the way down. You got to give a lot of credit to Wilborn. He's making a great effort to try to stop that shot.
7 assists on the night for Singletary. Virginia finished up regulation cold at the free throw line. They blew 6 of 7 down the stretch. 5 minutes go up on the board. Overtime in Charlottesville with you on Comcast Sportsnet. Along with Glenn Consor, I'm Joe Beninati. If you're just tuning in, a late start. We didn't tip off till a little after 9 o'clock. Virginia and Western Kentucky, and it has been a dogfight. 10-1 Western Kentucky against 8-2 Virginia. First ever meeting between these two teams. Virginia has already dispatched Robert Morris, Furman, and Northwestern this year. Also teams that they were meeting for the first time. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, and the visiting Red. We will see off the bench Fungi Soroye, a 20-year-old freshman from Nigeria, to jump center. Soroye, the high school product of Montrose Christian School in Rockville, will jump against Wilborn.
He's starting this half because he gets up. That's exactly the reason why he's starting, because he can get up and get that jump ball with 5 minutes to go. Every possession so important.
I'll say 6'8" Wilborn's no slouch. Singletary finds Soroye. Jason Clark's going to get right back in there. Reynolds for 3. Off the hands of Soroye, back to the Hilltoppers. Hunty was his job, and Jason Clark re-enters. Didn't turn out to be a productive trip. Dean Gillen's going to also get T.J. Bannister back in the game.
And now you'll see a lot of coaching, offense to defense. Bannister, a terrific defender. Good on-ball defender.
Courtney Lee flashing open at the top. He hit a couple of big baskets down the stretch. That old cliche, ice water in his veins for a freshman. Winchester for Lee again. Right on cue, he rattles that 3 out. Bannister motoring ahead. Forbes on the entry. Winchester on the overplay, and the officials say Virginia ball. Nearly a minute into overtime, 65-65, West Virginia, or rather Western Kentucky and Virginia.
Gary Forbes trying to get the ball inside the ground. He's looking inside, but he could take 3 or 4 steps. They're just sagging off and just collapsing on Elton Brown.
Reynolds looking over top. Clark at the foul line. Brown all alone.
Winchester dropped off of Clark. Clark got the ball back, and Brown was wide open. Well executed play by Virginia.
The leads for the Cavaliers have been few and far between. They've got one now in overtime. Antonio Haynes got a screen from Rumpf. Shot clock to 10. Forbes will switch on to Haynes. Lee gets inside. Too strong off the glass. Out of bounds. Western Kentucky keeps it.
Well, Western Kentucky is just so tough to guard because it's constant movement. Motion offense, everybody's coming off screens.
Rumpf, too strong from 3. Elton Brown spinning in. Clark hammered away by Wilborn. Remember, Wilborn's got 4 personals. That was ruled a clean block.
But you know what I love about his game, Joe? He's continually playing hard. A lot of guys with that kind of foul trouble. He tries to draw the foul, then he gets up and watch this. He's everywhere. Well, that was close. Man, that was close.
2 minutes deep in overtime. Cavaliers by 2. Reynolds for Brown. Forbes will try it for 3. Brown was bodied there inside. This is going to be a foul against Danny Rumpf. Rumpf has 3.
I have a sneaky suspicion that this is going to boil down to free throw shooting once again. just like it did in regulation.
Elton Brown on the night, 9 points, 11 rebounds, second leading rebounder in the ACC. Elton tonight at the stripe, 2 of 4. Elton Brown shaking his head. The second whack here to try and give the Cavaliers a 3-point lead. Virginia, having made just 2 of its last 9 at the free throw line. Another double-double for Elton Brown. He's got 7 of those. Virginia leads in the rebounding score. That is usually a good sign for them with respect to wins and losses. The lead is 3 in overtime. Anthony Winchester burrowing in on 4 and scores.
Up to that point, Virginia has done a great job of shutting down Winchester. That was really his first shot in the last 8 minutes.
He's got 26 points. His season high was 29 at Austin Peay. Singletary, that graceful freshman, gliding on the perimeter. It was Singletary drawing contact. Sean Singletary, after a relatively cold night for Virginia from outside, it's been the three-pointers that got them back in regulation.
Well, you live and die with it. Looked like it was a slow death because they couldn't make shots, and all of a sudden, the last 5 minutes of the game, Virginia started making the threes and brought it back.
Singletary, 67% of the line of the season, is 5 for 5 tonight. We see Anthony Winchester with 4 personal. Danny Rumpf will have a seat. Ty Rogers is back in. Another freshman. Coach Horn wondering how his freshmen would perform. He knew they all had talent as they tried to replace Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year Mike Wells as one of their wing guards last year, an outstanding player, an outstanding defender in particular.
This is a very important possession for Western Kentucky.
Winchester finding lead. It'll be Haynes for 3. Elton Brown with a board and a chance for Virginia to grow its largest lead. 12 rebounds now for Elton. Pete Gillen, the head coach for the Cavaliers, wants time.
Well, Western Kentucky got up a nice shot, a nice look. You know, that was not a forced shot. They have just done a great job the whole game, penetrating, drawing, and kicking. And it's not an easy thing to do. You got to move. A lot of times when a guard penetrates or anyone on your team penetrates, you have the tendency if you're off the ball to stand and watch. That's what impressed me most about Western Kentucky this game. Upon penetration, there's been constant movement by the 4 players that don't have the basketball.
Western Kentucky, we mentioned they hail from the Sun Belt Conference's Eastern Division. Have a look at how things have proceeded thus far. Middle Tennessee and Arkansas, Little Rock expected to be among the leaders. Western Kentucky with 4 straight victories, playing extremely well. Now it's time for Darren Horn to work some magic. He mentioned that he learned so much from Tom Crean, the head coach at Marquette, was an assistant there. When he was a player at Western Kentucky, his head coach was Ralph Willard, and he said the biggest compliment that he could get would be that his Western Kentucky team looked like Ralph's.
Well, Ralph actually was a disciple of my college coach, Rick Pitino, and Ralph has done a great job everywhere he's been, Pittsburgh and Holy Cross. He's done a phenomenal job of playing that up-tempo style of basketball, which is what we're seeing today from the Hilltoppers. But, you know, this is a well-coached, very well-coached team by Western Kentucky. They run great stuff. They're very disciplined offensively, and They've done a great job with the zone defense against Virginia. They've really had a tough time, Virginia, executing any type of offense, getting the ball inside the ground. They've done a great job shutting them down.
Western Kentucky is not an AP top 25 team. They have received some votes, but I found this to be odd about Virginia. Virginia did not beat a single top 25 team last year by more than 2 points. They are used to these tight games. Right now they are 70-67 in overtime. In field goals in the extra session, both teams are shooting cold. John Singletary will bring it ahead. Hawked there by Antonio Haynes. Elton Brown quite a ways from the basket as the Cavaliers look to milk some time. Shot clock at 8. Singletary rising up. It's been a cold night for him overall. Haynes, this is a 3-on-2 if they hustle. Winchester for 3. A rare miss. Great hustle and scramble on the floor. It comes away for the Hilltoppers. Rump for 3. Wilborn earns him another trip. 38 seconds in regulation. Another 3 falls short. That one out of the hands of Haynes. Western Kentucky in overtime from 3. Glenn 0 for 6.
This has been a great game.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the effort that both of these teams are putting out, guys are diving on the floor, you know, jumping over bodies, bumping bodies for offensive rebounds, and you got to give credit to Western Kentucky. They're fighting hard. They make the right passes too. You saw Rump make a great pass to Haynes, and they're looking for their three-point shooters. They're very patient. They're making great passes. And what I mean by that is if you have a shooter on the right side and a guy that can't make it on the left side, they're finding the guy that can make those shots. They've done it all night.
Reynolds giving the Cavaliers a little breathing space with 33.6 to go. Bannister will get back in. The last 15 years in this building, Virginia has won 90% of its non-conference games. 90% at home in the last 15 years. Western Kentucky trying to spoil that trend.
Pete Gillen now going with Bannister on the defensive end.
Haynes will dribble it ahead, and Coach Horn wants to set some strategy with his group down by 5 and 30.2 to operate.
Joe, there's still plenty of time left in this game. 30 seconds is a lifetime. It's still a 2-possession game, and right now, Coach Horn has the advantage of looking for a quick hit type play and then go back and stop the clock and get a quick foul. So there's plenty of time left in this game.
Sunbelt already has a win over the ACC this year. Florida International beat Florida State. 4 wins for ACC schools. Virginia trying to make it 5. It's the 80th time the Sunbelt and the ACC have clashed. The ACC has won 70 of them. Back come the Wahoos in white, leading 72-67. Next up for them, at Georgia Tech, Saturday in Atlanta.
That's not going to be easy.
Nobody has hit a 3 in overtime. Well, I know you like the Yellow Jackets. Luke Schentzer will be a handful inside.
You get the great guards, and Will Bynum, Elder, and Jarrett Jack.
It's the best defensive team in the ACC, the Yellow Jackets. Winchester was hacked there by Reynolds. Reynolds doesn't agree.
That's in the act of shooting, so he goes to the line. That's a good, well-designed play. That's good coaching. Getting the ball in a little isolation for Winchester. He goes to the basket, goes for the opportunity to shoot too. He's an 83% free throw shooter. So they've got the ball in the hands of the right guy.
First 2 free throws on the night. What a night it's been. 27 now for Anthony Winchester. Wilborn back in for Josh Higgins. 25.9 to go in overtime. A lopsided advantage for the Cavaliers at the charity stripe. Winchester, 1 of 2. Haynes earlier was 1 of 2. Their 2 best free throw shooters not making the payoff when it counts. Another timeout for the Hilltoppers. Pete Gillen won't mind getting his team gathered round.
Well, the nice luxury that Coach Horn has right now is to try to get the ball into either Winchester's hands, even though he had that miss. He's an 83% free throw shooter, or he's got the luxury of Antonio Haynes, who also shoots at 82%. So those two guys, you know, would be a great option to get the ball in their hands now. They're down 4 points, so you want to go to the basket. You still don't have to rely on three-point shots. You want to go to the basket.
Don't forget Courtney Lee, and don't forget how we got into overtime. It was Clark at the buzzer. It was called goaltending, and it was ruled that the shot was free from Clark's hand before time had expired. That sent us to OT, and Virginia has outscored Western Kentucky by 4. Joe Beninati, Glenn Consor with you in what has been a very, very good basketball game. Winchester pops open and hits the 3. Anthony Winchester's got 30. Reynolds was hacked by Roman.
And Bannister was wide open. Reynolds took the extra dribble, which allowed Western Kentucky to foul him. All he had to do was get the ball up to Bannister, which would have been an easy layup. But because he took that extra dribble, Joe, now it stops the clock.
Reynolds back to the free throw line. Winchester with all of the Hilltoppers' points here in overtime. Danny Rumpf now with 4 personal fouls. That one just trickles over the front of the rim. J.R. Reynolds, 17 points, 13 of them in the second half and overtime. Perfect at the line, 5 for 5 tonight. The lead is 3. 16 seconds to go. Antonio Haynes was fouled.
See, that's a very good foul by Virginia, because they were going to set it up right for a executed play for Winchester to shoot another 3, and he's hot. And right now it stops the clock, and now he only can go to the line to shoot 2 shots. Make the first, Joe.
Sets his sights, Antonio Haynes. Mission accomplished there. The lead is 2 for Virginia. 15.5 seconds to go in overtime. Live ACC basketball on Comcast Sportsnet. Nervous moments for the guys in red. Haynes untrue at the line. Got to foul now and do it quickly. Antonio Haynes commits the personal. 12.7 now in overtime. Virginia trying to eke out a win over 10-1 Western Kentucky.
Well, they fouled the right guy. Ford Rowley is 66% free throw shooter.
0 for 2 tonight, Glenn, is Gary Forbes.
Yeah, shot that quick. See how fast he shot that? Holy moly. Take your time, bend your knees, take a deep breath.
This one's not done yet. I have a feeling we are shaping up for a fantastic finish. Forbes trying to make it a 3-point cushion. And Western Kentucky's got a lot of 3-point shooters out there. Forbes missed them both. A 2 will put us in a double OT. A 3 will win it. Haynes on the hop. Courtney Lee, 3 seconds. Rising up, and he scores! Wow. Courtney Lee. 8/10 left. Long touchdown bomb for Bannister. And we'll go to double overtime, 74-74. Courtney Lee with 18. Back-to-back 18-point games for the freshman from Indianapolis. And 2 points, none bigger than these.
And it was a great job by Lee, who didn't force the shot, but he took the mid-range shot. He didn't try to take it to the basket where there were defensive players. Instead, he took a little Rip Hamilton-like mid-range jump shot under control.
chance for us to catch our breath. We'll break away from Charlottesville. Back for the second overtime in a moment, even at 74.
And back here, Coach, what about it? What about it?
Really?
It's not over yet, is it?
No, and you know, on that free throw where that kid from Virginia intentionally missed it, and if we'd got the rebound, which we did, but we tapped it out of bounds, that would have been the ball game for us. And then that goaltending.
Yep, all kinds of opportunities.
Official,
We're watching just like you. Hey, guys, you could be watching it or you could be asleep, but you're watching it right now because people have made it possible. You know, this game is worth that extra pledge. It's worth that first-time membership at 1-800-599-2424. We're getting our money's worth, and we hope you are as well, and we hope that you'll take just a minute right now and call and pledge your support. 800-599-2424. It's great to be able to watch.
Oh, it's fabulous. Great. Thank you for doing it for all of our fans.
That's right. Well, you know, and really it's not what we do, it's what you do. It's what those folks do at home, Coach. It's the people that call and pledge the money that make it possible. It's your dollars right now making the game possible. 1-800-599-2424. Going to go back to the game. We're going to stay with it as long. Have you ever been in a triple overtime?
No.
Well, maybe tonight's the night. You don't ever know.
Well, wait a minute. When I was the Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, okay. 1-800-599-2424. Time for you to call. Go Toppers. Let's pull this one out.
Basketball on Comcast Sportsnet. So glad to have you along for the ride. We're riding into overtime number 2. Joe Beninati, Glenn Consor, the men and women of our Comcast Sportsnet crew. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers have come from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and they have definitely shown up to stand up to the Cavaliers here in Charlottesville. They'll add an extra timeout for each team in overtime. We were 65 all at the end of regulation, 74-74 at the end of the first overtime. And Glenn, free throws have been a trouble spot for both teams.
You can't shoot 50% when you go down the stretch to try to win a basketball game. And guess what, Joe? Both teams are doing that right now. Right down the stretch when it counted, you got to be able to make shots. And there you see Big Fella from Montrose Christian winning the tap again, and now Gary Forbes comes off the bench immediately.
The Big Fella, a.k.a. Tunji Soroye, number 21 for Virginia. Elton Brown doubles quickly. Clark will twist it. Quickness displayed there defensively by Antonio Haynes. He knocked it out of bounds. Forbes gets back in for Virginia. Soroye will have a seat. Second overtime on Comcast Sportsnet. Anthony Winchester, keep your eye on him. Number 10 in red for Western Kentucky, a season-high 30 tonight. He had 40 last year against Louisiana Lafayette. Singletary, charge, no basket. A charge against the freshman from Philly.
Winchester just makes plays. You know, we were talking about his offensive prowess. Watch what he does here. Great job sliding in on the weak side. Moved a little bit. Tough call.
Tough call, and the last call against Singletary, because he's fouled out now with 11 points.
And that takes away another perimeter shooter.
And a quality assist guy. As Singletary departs with 7 helpers tonight. Looking for the first points in overtime. Number 2, that is. Danny Rump motioning for Courtney Lee to come and get it. Lee dramatically at the end of the first overtime. Clark at the buzzer of regulation. Nail-biting finishes. Lee, baseline fadeaway. Practically at the end of the 35-second shot clock.
Good defensive set that time by Virginia. Elton Brown is limping.
Reynolds elevates, too much mustard on that.
I don't know if Elton Brown is cramping up, but he's got a little limp. He just looks tired. Western
Kentucky off a win over Fordham. New Year's Day, handily. Virginia beaten soundly by Wake Forest over the weekend. Forbes in a takeaway and a 3-on-2. Reynolds won't get it to go.
Western Kentucky just does a great job on those scrap hustle type plays. They get offensive rebounds in transition. They get back in the transition game nicely and match up. Gotta love the effort, Joe.
What the coach said, they play together, they play really, really hard. And they demonstrated that. Winchester trying to find Wilborn in rotation there defensively. Bannister scooting back, looking for that lob.
Left his feet.
Rump, end to end. Partially blocked by Clark, but he was fouled in the act.
Cardinal rule, you don't want to leave your feet with Bannister coming down the floor. Now he has Reynolds open on the left side of the floor. Watch this. He's wide open. Look at the corner, one of the best shooters on your team. You got to get him the ball. Instead he left his feet, lost his options.
Danny Rumpf at the free throw line this season, 65%. His first free throw attempt rains down. Adrian Joseph, the current ACC Rookie of the Week for that solid performance against Wake Forest, gets back in. Forbes will sit. Rumpf. Coach calls him perhaps their most valuable player, a guy who is completely all about team, doesn't care about self. Missed the free throw there. Western Kentucky's lead is 1. P.J. Bannister running the point now with Sean Singletary having fouled out here in double overtime. Clark will choose Bannister. Shot clock at 10. Elton Brown away from a triple team. Bannister doesn't convert.
Nice job by Elton Brown reading the defense, feeling where the double team came from. Bannister just couldn't finish it. They've done a great job collapsing on Brown, and it looks like Elton Brown is cramping up.
Western Kentucky led at the half. Western Kentucky led most of the second half. Virginia rallied to force overtime. Haynes got a step. Antonio Haynes. Back comes Reynolds. And he'll score. Great guard play at both ends. And a timeout is asked for. 77-76. The Hilltoppers on the lead and on the road. More in double overtime with you from Charlottesville. We're back in a moment.
Here at EA Ditto Arena, Coach, trying to pull this one out.
Kids are playing hard, I tell you, and like you said a while ago, man, they've got to be tired.
A lot of heart.
Oh, yeah, and they played so aggressively all night long.
We're still here, still waiting on your call, your pledge of support. Thank you if you've done it. If you haven't, do it right now. Don't forget, this is the game and the only game where you can get our T-shirt deal where if you pledge $50 or more, yeah, we still got it here. We're going to send you this fine T-shirt, $50 or more on a credit card. You know, you're getting to see a double overtime, an extra game, a game that wasn't on the schedule, and we're bringing it to you with the good faith commitment that you'll help make it possible. 1-800-599-2424. That's the number to call. Your pledge of support is important right now. What are we looking for in the final 2 minutes here?
Well, if they're going to be very cautious basketball, both teams. They're going to be looking for the good shot.
Control the ball. Control the ball. That's what it's about. And you're in control. Please make that call here in the final minutes of the game. It's been a great game. The success of the game depends on your pledge of support. Let's go Tops. You make that call. Let's watch.
This one your way. Virginia, normally even money against the non-conference foe in this gym, has been pushed to double overtime. If you look at the big reset, the score 77-76. One timeout remaining for Western Kentucky.
You know, if this game keeps going at this pace, we could end this game tomorrow.
We're on the way here in the East. A little bit after 11:30. Both of these teams, Glenn, in your opinion, showing some signs of wear and tear.
Well, I'll tell you what, some of the guys look tired, but the guards like Haynes and Winchester and Western Kentucky and Bannister don't look tired either.
Remember, for Virginia, J.R. Reynolds did not start, yet he leads the team with 20 points. And also a reminder, if you're looking for Devin Smith out there at a crucial moment, you won't find him. Devin Smith missing this game for Virginia. Back-to-back games with an ankle problem. Western Kentucky on the road in red. Antonio Haynes. Virginia was concerned about dribble drive penetration. Here comes Haynes, and he's stacked there by Forbes. The hell ball, possession arrow, favors the Hilltoppers.
Forbes has been somewhat unheralded the way he plays defense this game. He's been helping out, blocking shots, and he also has the tough assignment defensively to guard Winchester, who is non-stop movement. Mini John Havlicek out there.
5 seconds to shoot. Rumpf was rising up. Forbes took it away from him, and it bounces out of bounds. The officials will say Virginia ball. Larry Rose, Dwayne Gladden, Brian Dorsey. The officials doing a lot of running. Darren Horn, 32-year-old bench boss for the Hilltoppers. Very energetic over there. Clark, Bannister, Brown, Forbes, and Reynolds on the floor in white for the Cavaliers. Wilborn and Haynes, Winchester and Rumpf, and Lee, 5 out there in red for the Hilltoppers. Western Kentucky leads by 1. Not any longer.
And Joe, that has been effective all night for Virginia, getting the ball in Clark's hands at the elbow, who can find either Brown or Forbes inside, and Elton Brown really is playing on one leg right now. I think it's cramps, Joe. Either he turned an ankle, or he's playing, or he's cramping up, and you know, playing this late tonight, this many minutes, Brown hasn't really had a chance to sit. But he's got two options. You got Brown on the right side and Forbes on the left side. Little ball fake, moves the defense just enough to give Forbes space to turn to the basket.
Gary Forbes now with 11, and it does appear like Eldon has a little hitch in his head along. 78-77 for the Cavaliers. 33.3 seconds to go. Overtime period number 2. First ever get-together between these two. Western Kentucky, a 10-1 start, their best in some 12 years. They went to the Sweet 16, the NCAA tournament back in '93, when Darren Horn, now the head coach, was a player for the Hilltoppers. And what a night they've received from Anthony Winchester, 30 points. Which player will be the hero now? Forbes pushing out on Lee, and it's a foul. Gary Forbes is second. Courtney Lee, who has delivered some big baskets for the Hilltoppers tonight, 64% free throw shooter. Lee has made 3 of 4 there this evening. Wilborn back in, Higgins back out. Wilborn, as we have pointed out tonight, Glenn, a real jumping jack inside defensively.
Good coaching by Horn, going offense to defense, bringing Wilborn in on his possession, makes the 2.
The Hilltoppers have the lead. The shot clock will be turned off. 79-78.
Full court pressure by Western. I just love what Western's doing this game, Joe. You know, you'd think at this point of the game with 32 seconds left, they'd back it up, but no, quite the opposite. This is how they've played all year. They want to put pressure on the basketball, and even in the overtimes here, they're continually pressing the basketball.
A terrific performance. Absolutely no retreat from the Hilltoppers. Leading in double overtime, 79-78. Forbes. Good hands by Haynes. on the floor. Who's going to come up with it? Elton Brown does. 10 seconds left. Another overplay by Rump. It's still loose. Ford off the scramble. Bannister inside. He scores! 80-79. Last-ditch effort. Comes up short. Another overtime escape. Virginia just beat Loyola Marymount here by 2 in OT. And now they tackle Western Kentucky by 1 in double overtime. A heartbreaker for the Hilltoppers. Bannister, the game-winning bucket with just 2.6 left. And Pete Gillen knows that his team was in a real struggle. Ford off the scramble. And it is Bannister creating something out of the corner. A tremendous basketball game, 80-79. Virginia the win in double OT. Our Food Line player of the game. We'll spotlight Gary Forbes with 11 points and 5 rebounds on the Virginia side. Obviously on the Western Kentucky side, win